Yesterday I did a video about our latest experience with Holland America's unique standby program. Let me give you a simple summary of what I said. It stinks. But good news. Today I'm going to tell you and Holland America what they need to do to fix it. If you see they've made these changes, then I think you should try it. To do so, I'm going to switch from Ken, the cruiser, to Ken, the business consultant. Why am I doing this? Because I spent my entire working career in business, either as an analyst within our own company or as a consultant helping other companies. And I hate to see a company that I appreciate, and Hal is a company I appreciate, take an idea that has great potential and turn it into an Acme product from a Roadrunner cartoon. So, now don't worry, this won't be some boring business lecture. You should never present a client with more than 3 recommendations. I will have exactly 3, and I'm going to give them to you fast. None of the 3 will take more than 2 minutes to explain. And every one of them is going to be totally understandable. These are not esoteric things. They're applicable to every business, not just cruising. I want to challenge right now anybody watching to listen to these 3 points and try to argue that they don't apply to every business every day. Please let me know what you think in the comments, because I'll be interested to see what people think of both this kind of video I'm doing and the content. In true consultant fashion, I'm going to give you the problem, why I say it, and what the company needs to do about it. Short, sweet. Problem number 1 for Hal. You don't deliver what you promised. So what do I mean by that? Well, with any product or service, there's a promise that represents why you should spend your money. It's called the value proposition. Buy this and you'll lose weight, or you'll have an enjoyable experience, or you'll become enlightened, or you'll look better than your neighbor. Pay your money, here's what you get in return. So, for the standby program, what exactly does Hal promise? Go to the website. You see this opening sentence. Ready to embrace your sense of adventure for the chance at an unbeatable fare? It then goes on to explain you can sign up and prepay for a cruise at either $99 a day for an inside cabin or $129 a day for a balcony. And then there's a ton of small print restrictions. There's only one problem. Those aren't unbeatable fares. I did a search today of Hal ships sailing in the next 60 days in the Caribbean, which is mostly what they're offering as standby cruises right now. If you look at the available rates as I scroll down this screen, you're going to see that 75% of the cruises have inside cabins available for less than $99. What? And with no standby restrictions. More than that, 60% of them have balcony cabins less than $129. Okay, so, solution simple. Fix the pricing. Now, I understand the problem. Hal wants to employ simplified pricing at the front end. One price fits all for any kind of cruise, and they set this price not knowing how low they may have to go to sell out any individual ships. But this program is targeted at experienced cruisers who understand the value proposition, and you've screwed it up. If you violate that, you lose them all, just like you've lost us now. Problem number 2. You give customers 0 feedback. Now I want you to imagine in this modern world that you order something from Amazon and they never gave you any feedback after the order. They don't tell you the ship date, they don't tell you the expected delivery, they don't tell you the actual delivery. Imagine you book a standby trip on an airline and they couldn't tell you how many standby passengers they had or where you were in line. Imagine you get a cancer diagnosis, you get an MRI procedure, you're waiting for the answer, and they tell you they have no idea when you would get a result. There's a reason automated helplines give feedback as to how long you might wait in a phone queue. It's called managing expectation. That's what all these are called. So now put yourself in my shoes for our latest cruise. For 5 months after booking, the ship shows as having open cabins. 2 months before sailing, the ship suddenly shows sold out. Contingency plans now become a serious issue to me. I need some information to help me decide what to do. So I called Holland America Customer Service. Where am I on the standby list? That information is not available. Okay, how many people are on the standby list? Unavailable. I see from the social media that there's separate waitlist people. How many are on that list, and are they ahead of us? Sorry, we can't tell you that. There was absolutely no information available. Turns out, according to anecdotal reports from people at the port, there were 100 people on the standby list. It would have made a huge difference to me if I had known that. When I first attempted to book a standby cruise, the program was so new, the customer service person was unfamiliar with what to do. So, 2 days later, I received a call back from someone in resolution management. I really enjoyed talking to Junior. They explained that the customer service person had not been trained, that they'd introduced new tools to make sure they all knew how to book people under the program. I was impressed. The solution to this problem is just like the solution to the booking problem. You have to give your customer service people the tools to be able to manage the expectations of standby passengers. I'll go one step further. If you can't do that, you shouldn't have standby passengers. Go read the social media content. At a minimum, this means giving reps access to the number of people on the standby list and where any given passenger stands. This is 2024, and this is not rocket science. Problem number 3. You don't let customers give you feedback. I'm sure that people at HAL will say they really care about this program, but if I were a consultant, I would tell them they don't. Why? Because they don't ask for feedback. Cardinal rule of business is you measure what is important and you act on it. If you've ever taken a cruise, you know they measure what they think is important. You're going to get a survey that immediately follows, and it's a big survey. How was the dining? What dining venues did you go to? How was embarkation? How was disembarkation? Which shows did you see? How did you like each one? Would you cruise again? Would you recommend us to others? On and on. Who should be commended? So, I've read literally hundreds of comments on the HAL Standby program on social media, primarily Facebook or Cruise Critic. Negative comments outnumber positive comments by a very wide margin, and the ratio has not improved over time. If I were a consultant, my first question to the company would be how the feedback that they see on social media compares with the surveys they receive from the people who book standby. But I know I would be cheating to ask that, because I know they don't ask for feedback from standby cruisers. The corollary to the cardinal rule would be that if you don't measure something, it means you don't consider it important. In this case, that translates to standby customers thinking you don't think they are important. The bottom line message I'm giving to Holland America is a message I'd give to any company for all 3 of these. Give the customer what you promised. If they have to wait, let them know what's going on. Ask what they think. Listen to the answer. Okay, back to Ken the Cruiser. I did this video because I really like Holland America, and I like the idea of a standby program, but only if the program is done right. Let me know in the comments what you think of the program and what you think of my comments. If you're new to our channel, this video has been different from most of what I do. Our focus is on how to make the most of your travel during the time that you still have left to do it. A good video to show that might be this one. Incidentally, it shows Holland America in a good light. Until next time, safe travels.